Cash Money.
Hebrew Israelites. You are Hebrew Israelites. Ain't about Black Lives Matter. Israelites lives matter.
That we with our spirit, read on. That we are. That we are.
That we into captivity. So what shall go? So what
Shall go.
Hey, see your will
Shall go.
All you all gotta do is press that button and gonna shoot over here and be like that, man. Be over just like that in an hour, man. America. Do it one more time for me.
Boom.
Just like that. So how do we know all this? And we know that African American is not our nationality, or black is not our nationality. Because guess what, sis? This is what they called us because to give us confusion. But if you're a so-called African American or American black, you be from the tribe of Judah, sis. And did you know? And I'm gonna explain to you how we know that you be from the tribe of Judah, because God had a chosen nation of people that He chose, right? And all these things will happen to them, all these curses and all these blessings that they will receive, right? So let me ask you a quick question. How did the so-called black man come over here to America? What transportation did they use, sis?
On that boat.
Boat, right? Did you know that Moses prophesied 3,000 years ago that the so-called black man will come over here by ships?
Bring it out.
I'm gonna bring it out to you. Somebody give me, you got that for me out? Give me Deuteronomy 5 and 6. Read this real quick.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
How did the black man come over here?
With ships.
How did the so-called African man come over here?
With ships.
It said that we was gonna come over here by cargo slave ships, right? But we gotta get the context clue of what Egypt actually means.
That's right.
Because guess what? Who was in Egypt during the time under Pharaoh in bondage, sis? Do you know what nation of people? The so-called Israelites, right? They was the only nation that Moses freed from Pharaoh. He didn't say nothing about the so-called white man. He didn't say nothing about the West Indian man. He didn't say nothing about the Arabs. There was only one nation in bondage under Pharaoh. So we're going to come over here and get the context of what Egypt actually means. Read this real quick, Doc.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 5, verse 6. I am the Lord thy God.
He said, I am the Lord thy God. He is being possessive because you say that those are your shoes. You going to say that's your shoes, right? That's your shoes. Read on.
Which brought thee out of the land of Egypt.
He's talking about the children of Israel because there was no other nation under Pharaoh that was in bondage. Read on.
From the house of bondage.
From the house of bondage. So what is another word for bondage? Starts with an S.
Slave.
Slavery. Yes, ma'am. So we're going to come back over here and we're going to put slavery in for Egypt. Read this real quick from the top, Out.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into slavery.
Into what?
Into slavery again with ships.
With what?
With ships.
With what?
With ships.
It said again with ships. Do you know any other nations except the so-called black man, the so-called Mexican Native American that went to cargo slave ships, sis? Can you name one more, another nation?
No.
No, sis, because guess what? The Native Americans and the Mexicans went to cargo slave ships in 1492. And the black man went to cargo slave ships in 1619, sis. So read on.
By the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again.
Because as a nation of people, since we came over here to America, we haven't seen our homeland. Is that correct, sis? And where is our homeland, if you don't mind me asking?
Africa?
You say Africa, right? Okay. So Africa is a continent. There are 55 different countries in Africa. So are we from Egypt? Are we from Zimbabwe? Are we from Congo? Where are we from, sis? You don't know? Okay, well, we know that God is a God of knowledge. He gonna have all the answers, right?
Yes.
All right, so bring this out real quick for me, huh?
This is the book of Galatians, chapter 4, verse 26. But Jerusalem,
But what?
but Jerusalem,
Nah, Africa.
but Jerusalem,
So since we descend from Jerusalem, this is where our people are from, we don't.
which is above is free, which is the mother of us all.
Because that's the land of milk and honey. Because guess who living in Jerusalem right now? The so-called fake Jewish people that's living
That's
over there,
right.
sis. They got our homeland, sis, and we trying to get it back.
Teach,
But we won't be able to get it back because we got to figure out what put us in this position. What can we do to get it back? So read this over here for me, huh?
Thou shalt see it no more again,
Our homeland, right?
and there ye shall be sold.
Okay, so when we got those cargo slave ships, what happened to us, sis?
So I missed that. I was listening.
Read that one more time.
And there ye shall be sold
What happened to us when we got those cargo slave ships, sis? Right, to Master Johnson down in Kentucky for $200, 20, 30, 40, 50. Oh, sold to Master Crew down in South Carolina. We were sold, right? But who were we sold on to, though, sis? What nation of people?
White.
To the white man, right? Let's see what the Most High God called them. Read this real quick. Huh?
and there ye shall be sold unto your enemy.
Nah, your best friend.
Unto your enemy.
Nah, Bob at work is cool.
Unto your enemy.
We were sold unto our enemies, sis. So when did that change?
Yeah.
Can you let me know when that changed? Because it never changed, because guess what? They still treat us like the same way that they treated us in 1619.
That's right.
Only thing changed is now we ain't in the conflict. We just working at they big corporation. Only thing different now is instead of us getting little coins here and there, they actually giving us a paycheck, but still getting us penny off the dime while they making billions and billions of dollars in their corporation, sis. That's the only thing changed. Read on.
For bond men
For slave men,
and bond women,
slave women, read on.
and no man shall buy you.
And that's just the old term back in the day that once we got ourselves in this condition that no man was going to be able to save us. Because guess what? Martin Luther King tried, they killed him. Malcolm X tried, they killed him. Black Panther tried, they killed them. Killed actually Fred Hampton, killed Huey P. Newton. Black Panthers ain't what they used to be no more, right? Read on, is that it on that? So my question to you, sis, as a nation of people, if we are the greatest nation on the earth and Most High God has chosen us, why are we in the condition that we are today now, sis? Why are we second-class citizens in America when we're supposed to be above everybody if the Most High God have chosen us? Or why are we the only one going through what we're going through? Do you know why? Give me Deuteronomy 28:15. You got that for me up? Read this real quick.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 15. But it shall come to pass.
So it says, shall come to pass, like this is a future prophecy, right? And it's going to happen. Read on.
If thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God,
It said, if we will not listen unto the voice of the Lord thy God, because guess where can we find the voice of the Lord thy God today, sis? Because we don't have that connection no more like we used to. So where can we find it today?
Me and my heart.
In your heart, sis, but your heart is a muscle though. All it does is pump blood. So where can we find it? We find it right here in this Bible.
That's right.
Because all his words is true and faithful. Read on.
to observe, to do all his commandments.
When it says to observe, that means to obey. To do, we got to put forth action, right? Because I tell you all day long that I love you, but I don't put forth the action behind it. Which one you going to believe, sis? My actions or my words? Right. Read on.
And his statutes, which I command thee this day.
Read that one more time.
And his
To do
all his commandments.
It says to do all his commandments, sis. So how many commandments was you taught, sis?
10.
You was taught 10, right? So in those 10, which one are you keeping?
Bring it up.
Thou shalt not keep it.
It's okay, sis, because I was struggling with it too.
I can't remember.
Okay, I'm gonna give you one real quick in the 10. Give me Exodus 23, I think that's one. No, 28. Because this is one of the commandments right now that we should be keeping today, because this is a very special day that the Most High God ordained Himself. And I'm bringing it out to you. You got that for me out?
Exodus 20 and 28.
20 and 8. Yes, sir. Chapter 20, verse 8.
Yes, sir.
Read this real quick.
This is the book of Exodus, chapter 20, verse 8. Remember the Sabbath day.
Remember what?
Remember the Sabbath day.
You know anything about the Sabbath day, sis? So basically, the Sabbath day during this day, the Most High God has made it holy. So you know where you're supposed to do. You got 6 days to work, and on the Sabbath day you're supposed to rest, right? Where you're supposed to be doing no buying, no selling. You're not really supposed to be doing your own thing. You're supposed to be doing what the Most High God wants you to do. So my question to you: do you think you're keeping the Sabbath day? No. You probably bought some today, right? You know what I mean? And it's okay because this is something that we didn't know, right?
That's right.
So this is probably breaking one of the commandments that we didn't know. So, you know, just to point that out to our people, that's how we stay in sin. This is how the other nations have taught us that it's okay to go out on the Sabbath day to buy and sell because they think the law done away with. But this is one of his laws, though.
That's right.
It says to keep the Sabbath day, but why are we out here breaking the Sabbath day? This is why we was put on the slave ship, sis.
But they
That's
said,
right.
What'd you say, sis?
they said on Sunday, I do not wash. I don't.
But what's the first day of the week, though, sis?
Monday?
No, ma'am.
Sunday.
First day of the week is Sunday. Right, you just said it.
Yeah,
So
right.
from there, if you count your 6 days all the way to the 7th day will be Saturday.
That's right.
So on this day we're supposed to keep it holy. See, you see how a nation that trying to teach us the Bible have kept us in sin because they're going to tell us what they think it is. And this is the only way you're going to keep the greatest nation at the bottom still if you teach them the way that you want to be taught, right?
That's right.
So there's actually 613 law, statute, commandments, but they only gave us 10 though. So if we didn't keep the 613, then we will continue to stay at the bottom, sis. So it's divided between the man, the child, and the woman, right? So continue to read on over here, Ak.
And his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses,
Says that all these curses, right? Is a curse a good or a bad thing, sis?
Bad.
Right, it just means devoted for destruction. Read on.
shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
So we're going to find out what some of these curses that has taken over the nation of Israel, the so-called black, Hispanics, and Native American. We're going to find out some of these curses. Read on out.
Cursed shalt thou be in the city.
Are we not cursed in the city, sis?
Yes.
Guess
Wake
what?
up.
They make sure that they take care of Plano, Frisco, McKinney. But what about Oak Cliff? What about Pleasant Grove? Why they not take care of us down here, sis? Why we still got potholes in the streets? We ain't got none of the best looking cars down here, but it looks good in Plano. They got all the fresh air up there, sis. We cursed in the city, sis. Well, a lot of our people are sleeping by the dark trains, strung out on drugs. We getting killed in the streets. Why that's not happening to the so-called Asian man? I ain't seen an Asian man on TV that say he got gunned down by the cops. I ain't seen a so-called white man in the streets got gunned down by the cops. It's only happened to us though. Why is our sisters being kidnapped and used for sex trafficking? I ain't never seen the other nations for us, sis. That's how we been cursed in the city. But read on.
And cursed shalt thou be in the field.
And cursed in the field. Was we not cursed in the cornfield, sis? The sugar cane, the tobacco. And now today, Marley, we cursing the work field, sis. We last hired, first fired. It's not happening because guess what? So-called the other nations, you could have a doctor degree in sports or let's just say psychology. Guess what? Jim or Bob, they can have a high school degree and they gonna get the job before you.
That's right.
Because they know the connection. Your resume look excellent. It looks good. You done did your years. You done went to college. And now what? He got the job. You looking for a job. And guess what? You got to pay back the student loans that you got from the other nations. Then they'll put you in debt. But continue to read on.
Cursed shall be thy basket in thy store.
It said, cursed shall be thy basket in thy stores. Do you own the businesses?
No.
Because I don't. Because guess what? When COVID-19 hit, who did it hurt the most?
Us.
Right, the black businesses. And it says your store, when it goes to your basket, it's talking about the food. Because guess what? We're not eating the real stuff today. They put GMOs in our foods. The chickens ain't that big as they used to be, I guess, back in the day. I ain't got to remember, but old schools, they know. You know what I'm saying? The watermelons ain't got the seasoning no more. What's going on, sis? They trying to kill us off. But let me ask you a quick question. Where do you get your food from, sis?
Bring it out.
From the white man's store?
From the white man store. Okay, what about your water?
From the city.
From the city. Who owns the city? What nation of people? From the white man, right? Because we don't own no water plants. I can't go turn off your water. But guess who can? They can.
That's right.
What about your clothes on your back, sis? Where you get those from?
White man made them and I bought them from him.
Yep.
That's right. That's right.
And that is a curse from the Most High God that we have to go to our enemies for everything. And I'm
Bring it
bringing it
out.
out to you. Read this real quick, God.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 48. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemy.
Because guess what? We serving our enemies. We serve them in the conflict. We serving them today. Because guess what? If you got a job, you punching in that time clock. You working 9 to 5, 9 to 7 for your enemies, right? Read on.
Which the Lord shall send against thee.
Because the Most High God sent them against us because we didn't want to do right. We didn't want to keep the commandments.
That's
So
right.
we broke that covenant or that contract. When we said we was going to do right by the Most High God, He had to send them against us to get us right. Read on.
In hunger.
And what?
In hunger.
So that food that you want, like you said, you got to go to Walmart, Tom Thumb, Kroger's. Our enemies own that. We don't own that.
That's
you know?
right. And in thirst.
That water, that Aquafina, that Zoker that we drink, our enemies own that.
And in nakedness.
And the clothes that we want to put on our back, Nike, Adidas, Reeboks, Jordans.
Bring it out.
Just because Jordan name on it, he don't own, Jordan don't even own Jordan, and that's his name. He don't even own his name, sis. Nike owns that, and guess what? It's owned by the so-called white man.
That's right.
You know?
And in want of all things.
It said in want of all things, right? So if you want to go and get your license to do hair, you got to go to the so-called white man.
That's right.
You want to get that new car on the lot, you got to go to the so-called white man. Because he built it, right? That house that you own, you got to go get it from the so-called white man. So in everything that we want, we got to go get to the other nations to get everything from them,
That's
you know?
right. And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck.
That not happened to us in slavery, sis? They put a yoke of iron upon our neck, right? Now today, it's not there physically, but it's there mentally. Because we don't think outside the box. They have put us in and sheltered us so much that they do the thinking for us now, see? That in on that out. Read this.
Until he have destroyed thee.
Until he has what?
Destroyed thee.
Because we destroyed now, sis. When they put us in chains and had us in slavery for 400 years, it has destroyed us mentally, physically, and spiritually to where we don't know who our nationality is. We don't know who we are. We didn't know where we come from. We don't. Because my question to you, before I even ask you, sis, let me ask you, hey brother, let me ask you a quick question. Who were we before we got on those slave ships, brother? What were we doing before we got on those slave ships, brother?
Man, we was Israelites.
We the Israelites, right? But how do we know that though? Because a lot of our people don't know that. Say we God's chosen people, but how did we get ourselves in this condition? You don't know? By breaking God's laws, statutes, commandments like I'm
That's
telling
right.
you sis. This is why we in the condition that we are. This is why we went on the slave ships. This is why we believe in this guy right here, because you know who this is? Who is this supposed to be, little sis? That's supposed to be God, right? Who's this sis?
White man.
The white man? Who is
That's
this,
right.
brother?
White man.
That's supposed to be the white man, right? But you hear that little sis think this is God, though. So you think this is God? Can I bring you out and actually give you the true description of what God look like, sis? Give me that real quick in Revelation real quick. You got that for me out? You want to start at 1 and 1? Read that real quick.
The book of Revelation, chapter 1, verse 1. The revelation of Jesus Christ.
So revelation just means to reveal. So it's going to give you the revealing of what Jesus Christ looked like, read on.
Which God gave unto him to shew unto his servants things which must shortly come to pass.
Because guess what? When things come to pass, this is what happened. They gave us this guy right here. It gave us the false image of what Christ looked like. This is not what Christ looked like, little sis. Read on.
And he sent and signified it.
He said he did what?
Sent and signified it by his angel unto his servant John.
Okay, drop down. Verse 13. Yeah.
And in the midst of the seven candlesticks, one like unto the Son of Man, clothed with a garment, down to the foot.
Down to the what?
Down to the foot.
So Christ, he had a garment on, looking suave, clean as ever. You know what I'm saying? All the way down to the foot, read on.
With girt, and girt about the paps with a golden girdle. His head and his hairs were white like wool.
His hair and his hair was what?
White like wool.
So he said his head and his hair was white like wool, right, sis? What nation of people got woolly hair?
Bring it out.
Black people, right? Do this so-called devil right here got woolly hair, sis? No, he don't. He had woolly hair. White as snow. You got like this brother beard right here. White as snow because guess what? When we get in age, our parents gonna become white. Great, read on.
And his eyes was a flame of fire. And his feet like unto fine bread.
Okay, so he said his feet was like unto fine bread, right? Because your feet's gonna be the same color as the rest of your body, right? So it said unto like to fine bread. So what color is bread, sis? Brown, right? Okay, so Christ had to be a colored man, right? Do this man look like he's in color? No, read on.
As if they burned in a furnace.
As if they what?
Burned in a furnace.
So if you put rice on a pot and you let it cook over for a long time, what color is that rice gonna be now, sis? Right, it's gonna be black. So Christ was a dark-skinned man, read on.
That's right.
You good on that?
And his voice is the sound of many waters.
So just to let you know that this is not what Christ looked like.
That's right.
They gave us the image of the beast, of the so-called white, this pale devil that they have given us to deceive our people.
That's right.
Because if we think this is who gonna come and save us, then we have failed as a nation of people. Because everybody else, when you think about it, so-called white man, he got his own God. So-called Chinese, they got their own God. Everybody else you can think of, they got their own gods, but why not us? Who do we look for? We look for this man right here for help when he's not going to save us. But how can we look for this man for help when his people have put our people in bondage for so many years?
I used to. As I got older, I realized he's not. He's a white man.
Right.
There's something that the white people put in our head.
That's right.
That who he was.
That's right.
So I'm not there no more. I'm not there no more.
That's good, sis. So my question to you is then what's the plan then? How can we get ourselves out of this condition then, sis?
That I don't know.
You don't know? You got something for me? Okay, that's cool. You got that for me? Read this real quick.
The book of Psalms, chapter 119, verse 59. I thought on my ways.
He did what?
I thought on my ways.
Because this is King David. He said he's thinking on his ways like we speaking right now. What should we do next? Read on.
And turn my feet unto thy testimony.
He said he turned his feet unto the testimony. He started keeping the law, statutes, commandments that the Most High God have given us. Read on.
I made haste.
I did what?
I made haste.
I made quick. I wasted no time to keep the law, statutes, commandments. Read on.
And delayed not to keep thy commandments.
To keep what?
To keep thy commandments.
Since we gotta start keeping the commandments.
That's right.
Now we know who we are. Now we know that we are God's chosen people. We gotta start keeping the commandments, sis. Because this is how we're gonna receive our blessings. Because you know what a blessing is according to the Bible, sis? Give me that in Deuteronomy 11:26. I'm gonna bring it out to you real quick. Because we've been taught the wrong way for so long, sis.
Do unto others as you would want them to do unto you. So that's why I get my blessing. I'm not gonna use nobody. Children, elderly, crackhead, or whatever. I'm not doing that because it's wrong.
Right.
And then one of the 10 commandments, thou shalt not steal. I steal from the white man every day. So that's out.
How you get to the kingdom, sis? Wait, let me give you this last scripture, then let me give you two more. And read this real quick,
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 11, verse 26. Behold, I set before you this day a blessing and a curse.
So Most High God gonna explain to you. Well, actually, Moses got it from the Most High God. He gonna explain to us what a blessing and a curse is. Read.
A blessing if you obey the commandments of the Lord your God.
A blessing if we do what?
If you obey the commandments of the Lord your God.
So it's time to come back to the law, statutes, commandments, sis.
Which I command you this day, and a curse if you will not obey the commandments of the Lord your God, but turn aside out of the way which I command you this day to go after other gods.
After what?
After other gods.
Christianity.
After other gods.
Muslim.
After other gods.
Buddhism.
After other gods.
This is what happens, sis. We started taking on the custom of the other nations, read on.
Which ye have not known.
Okay, that's it. So, sis, it's time to start coming back to the law, statutes, commandments, sis. It's going to take time, but that's where you got to build with your people. This is what we out here to do, sis. We out here to exhort our people to build them up. We're trying to build up a nation again because we got a young princess right here, sis. We want to build her up to be in righteousness, to able to find a righteous husband.
That's right.
Read this over here,
The book of St. Luke, chapter 10, verse 25. And behold, a certain lawyer stood up and tempted him, saying, Master, what shall I do to inherit eternal life?
So he's asking Christ. He's speaking to Christ. He's asking, what can I do to make it to the kingdom of heaven, right? Read on.
And he said unto him, what is written in the law?
What is what?
Written in the law? How readest thou?
How what?
How readest thou? And he answered, saying, Thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy strength, and with all thy mind, and thy neighbor as thyself.
So what you were saying earlier, sis, just to do right by others. So to make it to the kingdom of heaven, you just gotta keep the law, statutes, and commandments.
That's right.
Did they ever give you a flyer by any chance, sis?
Yes.
Like, if you have any questions or concerns or anything that you want to discuss, we're here for this, sis. We're here to build up our people.
Struggling together.
Hold on, I want to get Matthew 22 and verse
Tosh Money.
Matthew 22, verse 29. Ye do err,
Understand? Read.
not knowing the scriptures,
Knowing the scripture.
nor the power of God.
Lord, the power of God. Read. Hey, he's coming back like a thief in the night, man. Your beer, your barbecues, and your blood is not going to save you.